Hello all, welcome to International Organization series. My name is Aditya, and if you haven't watched the previous video where I have explained the part 1 of the World Bank, so I urge you to please watch this first, then continue with this series, because in our earlier video I have explained the basics which are required for the World Bank knowledge, especially when it comes to the civil services exam. So this is the part 2 where I will be continuing from the members. I think we have completed from members, so let's just revise it one again. Then IBRD stands for International Bank for Reconstruction Development. It has 189 members, whereas the IDA, that is International Development Association, has 173 members. And I have also stated that in our earlier video that each member state of the IBRD should be a member of IMF. So this is very important facts when it concerned with the members of the World Bank. So today I am going to start with voting powers. Now, voting power is the right of the world, is the right for the countries in participating in the World Bank. So to pass any kind of or to take any actions. So every country has different voting powers, irrespective of their power as per the World Bank law. So it was revised in 2010, and it was revised to give to give voice to the developing nations. Now, whereas the US and the Germany and the UK have always been stagnant in when it comes to the voting power. So US share, that is United States shares the 15.85% of the voting rights or the voting power, which is the highest among all countries. So as you all know that in my previous video I've said that US dominates in the World Bank. Therefore that's the main reason why their president is always the president of the World Bank is always a US citizen. So second rank goes to the Japan, which have the voting right of 6.84%. Third rank is China, that is 4.42. Fourth rank goes to Germany, that is 4%. Fifth rank goes to UK, United Kingdom, that is 3.75%. Then sixth rank goes to France, and seventh rank goes to India. India's share in the World Bank voting power is just 2.91%, and Russia is even behind us. That is, Russia scored 8th rank, and it scores the voting percentage of 2.77%. So these are the voting powers share, and this is also important for MCQ, because sometimes they will ask you in the arrange the voting power according arrange the countries according to the voting power of the World Bank. So you just need to remember that who is first, who is second, no matter whether you know the percentage, exact percentage or not, but just to be precise, just read it thoroughly and just try to remember this order. So let's move on to next topic, that is the global partnership. Now, temporary responsibility of the CTF, which is a part of the World Bank, was to focus on the renewable energy cost competitive. Well, as you all know that renewable energy sources are very important for the sustainable development. So World Health Organization along with the international health practices committed for improving the health of the citizen of the developing countries. So as I've also told in my earlier video that World Bank focus more on the developing country, and its only focus is on the developing countries, not with the developed one. So the role of World Bank and climate change. Now climate change is very important topic. I'm going to make another video in specific with respect to climate change, but for the basic understanding of the World Bank and what is the role of the climate change, because it is in the syllabus of the UPSC civil services prelims. So let's understand what is the role of World Bank on climate change. Now, World Bank Group's climate change action plans adopted today. Well, actually I copied this text from the one newspaper article, so it has been written today, whereas the climate change action plan took place in December 2015, and it was designed to help country to meet their Paris COP21 pledges, and which tries to manage the increasing the climate impact. Well, as you all know that the climate change is a very serious concern when it comes to the rapid humidity, when it comes to the devastating changes that has been seen in the past, as well as their impact on the future. So the key focus is to boosting the resilience of the people and the community to climate shocks. That's the key focus of the World Bank. Now it also supports the private companies. It also supports it seeks support from all different developed countries as well. So to develop a system that could be sustainable and could be beneficial for the climate change, and this will help in the long run of the country. So So World Bank also stated that by 2050 the world will have to feed 9 billion people. You can imagine the largest quantity. So 9 billion people world have to feed, and extend house and services to 2 billion new urban residents. So that is the important fact that you must remember. So, and their task is not just to feed people, it also task is to provide universal access to affordable energy. So by bringing down the global greenhouse gases, that is carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide. So these emissions to levels should be taken to make a sustainable future possible. So that's the statement by the World Bank, which I copied from their site. So Climate Change Action Plan 2020. So that's the plan. That is a short-term plan for the World Bank. So Climate Change 2020 Action Plan states that it should provide clean energy, green transport, climate smart agriculture, urban resilience mobilizing program, sectors to expand climate investment in developing countries. So she is Laura Tuck, who is the Vice President of Sustainable Development at the World Bank Group. So she stated that climate change is the defining issue of our time and cannot be tackled through isolated action, one sector at a time. The complexity of the challenges requires solutions that cut across many different sectors such as energy, water, agriculture, transport, urban planning, and disaster risk management. The World Bank is a unique position to work with countries to develop solutions that build their resilience to climate impact, protect the people from environment, and reduce their emission. So you can easily guess that World Bank is too much serious about the climate change, and it requires support from each and every individuals of the country, and despite being the developed or the developing one, to participate in fighting for the climate change. So what is the threat by the climate change? So as per the World Bank, climate change threatens the food security, of course, because if the climate is not good, the agriculture will going to suffer, and if agriculture is going to suffer, then how would you expect the better quality food? Also, climate change affect the water availability. Well, as you all know that the water availability is very less, and some states and some countries are even fighting for the water scarcity. Recently read one trending topic in the Somalia, that is trending on the Facebook on second number. So which states that Somalia people, about 200 people died due to the water unavailability. So you can imagine the water scarcity that is been going on to the world. So climate change threatens the water availability, which can lead devastating impact to not only just water concern, or not only the human concern, but also the food, cities, transport, coastline, and everything. And it will play a very crucial role in the public health as well. So climate change threatens the public health, coastlines, cities, water availability, food security. So that's the climate change threatening topic. Now, so what will happen if we do not take action, and what will be the devastating side of it? So climate change could push more than 100 million addition people to poverty by 2030. That's the statement by the World Bank. So but last December, that is December 2015, so Paris in the world united, that is Paris COP21, that is CMP 11, Paris Climate Change Conference by the United Nations. So in this conference, all of the countries have participated, and more than 180 countries pledged to make 185 countries participated, and approx 185 countries, I guess it is written 180, but I have read somewhere that 185 countries have pledged to climate change in priority. So India is not behind. India is also supporting the climate change. In fact, in the October 2016, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that India will be the participant in the climate change, and India accorded the peace treaty. So concrete plan by 2020. Now this is very important because this will going to be asked 100% in the exam. So you need to read about the concrete plan because this has been stated by the World Bank. So 30 gigawatt of new renewable energy. So 30 gigabyte of new renewable energies is the concrete plan of 2020. Not just that, to mobilize $25 billion in private financing for clean energy. So as you all know that World Bank cannot attain the climate change program alone, or they need to seek support from the private firm as well, because the private industries will play the major role because they have the vast influence in the market. So Another point is that they quadruple the funding of the climate change resilient transport. Also, bringing early warning system for natural disaster to 100 million people. So, because if we have the warning system, we can save ourselves from the disaster. So, this is one of the concrete plan. Now, adopting social protection for 50 million people help country to build climate change into policies and planning. So so the World Bank seeks companies and as well as the countries to participate in the climate change and include that topic into their policies and the manifestos. So this is very crucial. Now, set up advocacy and work with countries and companies to put price on carbon pollution. So that is the most important topic. So if you set up the advocacies and works with other countries, and that could eventually put the price on the carbon pollutions. So integrate climate into urban planning through global program for sustainable cities. Now IFC, that is the most important point. IFC, International Financial Corporation, will lead to leverage $13 billion a year in private sector investment. So as I told in my previous video that what is the role of IFC. So let me just scroll up and let you know that the 5 family member of the World Bank group. Where is that? So as you can see, the second point is IFC, World Bank Group 5 member family. So as I explained in my previous video that the role of the IFC, that is International Financial Corporation, is to provide loan to the private sector. So this is the 5 member family that comes in the 5 member family along with other 5 member, that is IBRD, IFC, MIGA, International Development Association and International Center for Settlement of International Disputes. So this is most important, IFC play. Now let's move on to where we left. Okay, now its criteria is also to develop the smart agriculture investment plan for at least 40 countries. So they initially take up the plan for the 40 country, and they are trying their best to develop the climate smart agriculture investment plan for more than 40 countries. So it also boosts assistance for sustainable forest and for fishery management. Now what is the role of India? Now as I mentioned that India is also participating in the climate change, and India to ratify Paris climate change agreement at UN. So Narendra Modi, that is our Prime Minister, has committed that by 2030 at least 40% of the country's electricity will be generated from non-fossil sources. Well, especially when we talk about India, where the prime source of energy is fossil fuel, that is coal. So how would you expect that India will ever be self-sufficient to use the renewable source or to generate electricity from non-fossil source? So that's the main challenge that India is facing, and we are proud that our Prime Minister has constantly working hard and committed that by 2030 at least 40% of country's electricity will be generated from non-fossil sources. So India has already started working, and it had already converted one area into the solar plant city. So I don't know the name. If you know that, please comment down below. So Paris Agreement adopted by 185 nations in December 2015. So India committed that by 2030 40% electricity will be generated from non-fossil source. That's the static fact. Now, which includes 175 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity by 2022. So that's important fact. Now Manish Bapna, which is the executive vice president of managing director of the World Resource Institute, said that India has one of the boldest renewable energy targets in the world, making it destined to be the major player in the solar and wind market. So as you all know that our Prime Minister Narendra Modi have been traveling so far with majority of countries. So one of the reason why he's traveling and why he's wanted to engage with other countries is that because he wanted India to become the solar power. So we cannot become solar power by ourselves. We need support, of course, from the private players from other countries who can provide the silicon to us, who can provide the support in installing the solar plants, because solar plants are very costlier. So and it is not efficient for the developing countries like us to bear the huge cost that is being required to set up the solar power plant. So India is working ahead, and we hope that India will achieve that mission by 2030. So that's it for now. I have just completed the basic facts and which are very important for the World Bank. And I would request you to please watch it first, first video of the World Bank, then watch it this tutorial, because this is very important. And in my next video I am going to cover up the MCQs, which are very important for World Bank. And don't worry, the MCQ will be from this topic, this theory aspect. So if you like this tutorial, please subscribe to my channel. I will be putting lots of video and lot of analysis which are important for competitive exams, especially for the civil services. So if you like it, please subscribe, and if you don't like it, please comment down below and let me know the reason, so that I can improve in my next video. So thank you for now. Bye bye.